Hi, I'm Sheilaa Hite, an astrologer, a tarot master, a teacher, an author, a seer, an all-around metaphysical being. Well, if you can look into the shadows of anything, I pretty much am an expert at doing just that. Today, we're talking about the astrological aspects and energies for the month of September 2019. And we've had a very busy, very intense last few months. And September, in its own way, will be busy and in its own way will be intense. But because it has its own way, it'll show up in ways that are easier to deal with and easier to manage. The month of September begins in the sign of Virgo. And there are 10 planets in the zodiac that we as Western astrologers deal with. And 40%, four of those planets, are in the sign of Virgo. So Virgo's attributes are practicality, uh, being methodical, um, really seeing, being able to sort, sift, and analyze. And that's what this month is about. It's sorting, sifting, and analyzing. It's about you looking at what you've done and how you've grown or how you've resisted growing in the last few months, and you being able to say, okay, how do I now deal with everything I've learned and experienced so that I can create something of substance, so that I can actually produce something that says, yes, this is a statement on who I am, this is a statement on what I am doing, and this is my commitment. This shows my commitment to success and my purpose in life. September is a very interesting month because it's also a harvest month. And as a harvest month, that literally means, well, we're going to be raking in the crop that you've spent all year developing. And you've spent 8 months developing this harvest crop. And now it's time to look and see what it's worth, what the market will pay for it. And the market doesn't have to necessarily be a money for money exchange. It's how has your value been enhanced? How have you enhanced your relationships? How far along are you on your path? So many of the things we'll talk about today will all go back to, well, is it practical? Is it methodical? What is its value in today's world, in your world, in today's world? So the theme for this month is get your ducks in a row. And that's a very important statement because it's a statement that means you taking a look at all of your resources, you taking a look at all of your ideas, and you ordering them so that they're easily accessed and so that they begin working for you. After all, you've spent 8 months working for them. More than 8 months because there's all of last year and the years before that. But certainly at this point, you've worked for them. How are they going to work for you? This month, put one foot in front of the other. It's a kind of exciting month because you know that you're headed towards something new. You may not know exactly what it is, but if you put one foot in front of the other, if you get your ducks in a row, if you see just what's really going on with you, you're going to be open to, privy to a lot of intuitive information that most people overlook because it's dull Virgo time. Virgo is one of the least dull signs in the zodiac, but people tend to think, well, it's an earth sign and it's not all that exciting. It's very exciting because without earth signs, we wouldn't have matter. So we will begin with today, September 1st. The earth signs are what's practical, what creates stability, what gives us the opportunity to construct something and to exchange that something for value. So earth signs are really good and important. So we have today what is called a grand trine. And a trine or a triangle in astrology, a trine 120 degrees, one planet up different or away from another for 120 degrees, that's a harmonious, beneficial aspect. When all three signs, earth signs, and any other grouping of signs, but when all three signs are connecting by 120-degree bars of energy. That's called a grand trine, a triangle. So we have the planet Mercury, the planet of the intellect, how we gather and process information, how we plan and think, how we communicate. Trine, Uranus, the planet of unexpected brilliance, wild, wonderful happenings, and help from like-minded people you couldn't have predicted. So, wow, is that neat the way you think? And divine insight and brilliance coming in to assist you. They're trying good old practical Saturn. How can we make use of this great thought that's connecting to this unique idea? And how can we produce something of value here on planet Earth? Why we have to bring in Saturn. And all three of these beautiful planets are working together. And so we start out today with that. So what ideas do you have today? What ideas did you have? I hope you wrote them down, because there's practical Saturn and there is Mercury communication. I hope you wrote them down. I hope you'll take time tonight to journal, to list your ideas, no matter how far-fetched, no matter how impossible they may seem. Write them down, because you're literally being given a lot of keys to a lot of great kingdoms today, just through this configuration. Tomorrow, we move into September 2nd, we move into the sun, the life force planet, the ego planet, the planet of creativity, the statement of who you are. We move that into a relationship. It's called a conjunction, together with the planet Mars. Mars rules how we get things done. Mars rules getting things done. Mars rules the actions we take. So you have your life force combined with the actions you take. That is a win-win situation. Be very careful to take a look at the list that you've been creating over time, especially the ones that you've created September 1st, because now is a time of great brilliance and great exchange. Sun conjunct Mars has energy you cannot believe. Sun conjunct Mars listens very clearly to spirit and to the body and understands how to work with both of them together. It's actually like lightning in a bottle. You can actually contain all that energy and direct it so that it works for you. What does your sun want? What is that sun asking for? Well, direct your Mars energy and it will appear. The next thing that you need to know is that with the sun conjunct Mars, energy is enhanced, and it's at your disposal. Do whatever it is that you're thinking about doing. Begin it now, because this is a time when miracles are happening, not just can, but are happening. And what sparks these miracles, what gets these miracles all excited, is the fact that you have brought your own unique bundle of energy, your you-ness, to the situation, and you're applying your personal energy to the situation. And the universe has been waiting for you. So get going and make these miracles, make them work for you as well as you work for them. So then we move on to September 13th. This is, as I said before, it's not the most exciting month. There's nothing happening every day, but something is happening all the time. And the something is taking more of a leisurely approach. We literally move on from the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd, as a matter of fact, of September to the 13th of September, when we have Mercury, how we think, gather information, process the information, and how we communicate, together with the planet Venus, the planet of relationships, the planet of value, especially self-value, and Venus, the planet of harmony and creativity. So the way you think is going to be really helped by other people. You're going to have partnerships that are important to you. And sometimes these partnerships are not going to be, we'll shake hands on it or we'll sign pieces of paper. Sometimes these partnerships will be somebody showing up at the right time, saying the right thing, and then possibly moving on. All kinds of things can happen because once you're at balance, once you're in an even place, that's Venus, you are open and receptive to have other people, that's Venus, come in and speak to you in a way that you can finally hear and process that valuable information. It's going to be a really, really great time. This is a fabulous month of saying, well, what is going on for me and how do I drive this particular vehicle? The next thing that we encounter is on September 14th. We encounter the full moon in Pisces. Now, full moon anyway is a very emotional occurrence. Pisces is an emotional or water or spiritual or creative sign. When you say emotional with astrology, you're saying all of that. You're saying water. You're saying creativity. You're saying spiritual. You're saying all of that at once. And the full moon, big full moon, is in expansive Pisces. So it's most important that you make your moon water. And I spoke about moon water for the first time last month. It's very powerful and very magical. So get a container with a top, a cover, put water in it, cover that container. If you want, you can leave it outside if that's a safe thing to do. If not, leave it in the window. And tomorrow morning, you will have, or not tomorrow morning, but the morning of the 15th, you will have moon water, water that's been charged by the energy of the moon, of the full moon. And I suggest you sip it, pour a little bit in your bath water if you'd like, rub it on you if you'd like, because it energizes you. It brings the fullness of the time to you. This is also, with this full moon in Pisces, it's a time that's very emotional. People, issues, and memories from the past are going to come in, sometimes slowly and sometimes just flooding in. The thing for you to do is to remember to stay focused on being in the now and simply review these things, review these memories, and review these people relationships that started to show up. Just because it showed up doesn't mean it's something you need to invite into your life now. It's here for you to review so that you can finally wring it out, get the last of the emotion, tears, water out, shake it out, put it on the line so that it can dry, and then send it on to its next place. This is also a time for you to take deep breaths because it is emotional. Full moons are emotional anyway. Please do not try to give anybody a piece of your mind. You need all of your mind now. You have a full Pisces moon. You need as much of your mind as you can. And giving somebody a piece of your mind during a full moon time, no matter what sign the moon is rarely a good idea. It's just too much emotion, too much feeling and old stuff coming up. Giving somebody a piece of your mind later, maybe, but you need to be very careful because that's a gift that you may not be able to afford to give. We move on to September 21st, and September 21st is a really, really great day. It's the energy of that day was really foretold by the full moon in Pisces a few days before, September 14th. So now it's a week later. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of the big production, the planet of the adventure of life, and the planet of blessings and luck. Jupiter is making an abrasive aspect to its first cousin, Neptune. So they are related, but they have their own agendas. And Neptune is nebulous. Neptune is the fog. Neptune is spirituality. Neptune is also illusion and deception. So what you want when you have expansive Jupiter and nebulous Neptune is you really need to put one foot in front of the other. You need to make sure that you are grounded. You need to make sure that there's stability all around you. And you need to be aware that this is a time of illusion and deception. Yes, it's a time of creativity. It's a time of intuitive perception. And when you act from that place of creativity and that place of intuitive perception, you really need to be mindful of the fact that you need to act from that place of stability. It's very important. A good rule of thumb during this time is verify, verify, verify. So just because it came to you, remember it's rolling in on the fog. Just because it came to you doesn't necessarily mean it's so for you, and doesn't necessarily mean it's going to function here on our plane, the plane of the physical, the plane of the practical here on planet Earth. However, if it came to you, perhaps it can be used later in another way, and maybe it's not using all of it at once. Maybe it's using bits and pieces. So this is a good time between the full moon on the 14th and Jupiter square Neptune now. A square looks like that, and that's actually a foundation. Perhaps you're being given information that you simply need to record and come back to later when times are less emotional, when things are more certain and not so nebulous. Because the information isn't necessarily incorrect, but your interpretation of it may be during this very emotional, watery time. The next thing that happens is a very important thing. It's our fall equinox. It will be on September 23rd, and the sun leaves the sign of Virgo, good old practical Virgo, and enters the sign of Libra. And that's really great because we're actually beginning to enter into the celebration or party season of our year. From about the beginning of Libra till the end of the year, we are in a celebrate something time. So we celebrate a lot of things. The leaves will be changing. Then we're going to move into Halloween, and then we move into Thanksgiving, and we keep moving holiday after holiday after holiday, celebration after celebration after celebration. As we move into Libra time on September 23rd, we have to remember that one of the things that Libra represents is balance. Be balanced. Now, Venus is the ruler of two signs, Taurus, which is an April-May time, and Libra, which is a September-October time. So Venus wants to come together with other people. Venus wants harmony. Venus wants balance. And Venus wants to speak its mind in a melodic fashion. It's a great time for music, great time for concerts. If you are a composer, fabulous. This is going to be good for you. However, it's a great time to make sure that your relationships are functioning and functioning so that you get value as well as you give value. When you're out there saying, here's all of my everything, and you're not bringing in half, remember, balance is the key. When you're doing that, you'll likely find yourself out of balance. What you need to do for yourself this month is continually check yourself. Check and see, where am I with this? Am I giving too much? Am I not giving enough? What is too much? What is enough? Remember, you just left good old practical, methodical, analytical Virgo, and you've moved into really what I hope is you've moved into that balanced Libra, where you can take all that you learned before in Virgo and you can begin applying it to your relationships, to your sense of balance, your sense of self-value, your harmony, to how you go about making sure that this part of your life and this part of the year are something to be celebrated. We then move on to September 26th. September 26th, by now, if you've been practicing what we've been talking about, September 26th, which could be a 2x4, something administered from the transformation office in life. it could be a gnarly time for you. But if you've been practicing what we've been talking about, it won't be gnarly. Why do I say that? Because Mercury, our good old planet of communication, expression, ideas, gathering and processing information, is making a square, an abrasive aspect to Pluto, the planet of transformation, the planet of the ultimate truth, of ultimate healing, and the planet of the old fading away quickly and the new being born quickly. They are working together, not the most harmonious relationship, because Mercury knows what it wants and Pluto knows what it wants. But they have to come together, and they have to balance that by coming to terms with what is most valuable in the moment. So when this happens, this is a deeply intuitive time. This is also a deeply, I'd say it's a sharp-tongued, harsh time. The way you think to yourself, the way you speak to yourself can be very abusive. Be more gentle with how you think and speak to yourself. Be less eager to call yourself names or to decide. This is when I see people literally going, oh, I'm so stupid. That is Mercury, and that is being hit by your own 2x4 unnecessarily. So this is a time that's highly volatile, that's deeply intuitive, and a time when you can make the situation what you choose to make it. You have to not react, but respond. Respond. Take several deep, rhythmic, gentle breaths before you say anything. You may be right, but is it appropriate? Is it correct? And that's how you want to ask. This is right, yes, but is it appropriate for now? And is it the correct thing to do? Because there is great power in not letting this extremely emotional, energetic form of energy drag you around, because that's what it does. It's never a pretty picture. It is a very powerful time, though. Mercury and Pluto together, when you put them together and they begin working together, it doesn't matter the aspect, as long as they're in association, there is a way for you to know all of the secrets, because Pluto rules secrets. Mercury is information. There's a way for you to know all the secrets that you're looking for. There's a way for you to know what it is you need to know if you align yourself with this energy. And you align yourself by deep breathing. You align yourself by not saying it, whatever the it is right now. And you align yourself with being true and honest to yourself. What is your motivation for saying or doing this thing? And your motivation has to come from your heart, not from a belief system, not from what somebody else has to say or what somebody else thinks, because Pluto is the ultimate truth. So it'll be an interesting time as we move towards the end of the month. And the next and last aspect of September will be a new moon. The new moon in the sign of Libra. This is good. Go out, have a party, or go to a party, take yourself to a lovely dinner, go to a concert. This is a time to be wonderfully balanced and wonderfully mellow with yourself and your world. If you see a piece of lovely jewelry, this is a good time to buy that lovely jewelry. This is a good time to show up in your life for yourself. This, again, the moon water is very important, and relationships are important too, and not just relationships with other people, your relationship of you with you. How well are you treating yourself? How kind and gentle are you being with yourself? How are you being responsible to you? Let's examine that. And perhaps you need to rewrite your contract with yourself as to how you're treating yourself. This is a great time to do just that. So the month ends with a phenomenal opportunity to be in balance, which is going to carry you through the rest of the celebration season, the rest of the celebration year. To be in balance, to love yourself, and to allow others to love the true you, Not the you that you were told you needed to be, but the you are. So that's it for September. Have a great time. Remember, we have to be practical and methodical and analytical, and we have to feel and be balanced and love ourselves. The harmony that we seek out in the world, it has to begin here with us. So, bye.